Subscribe yet, subscribe now. And so thank you for joining us on this voyage into limitless light that is already within you. If only we could realize it. If you don't subscribe, you spend the day with us. It will be about community, awakening, and practicing the principles that we talk about all the time in these videos. It's great for people to have a sense of oneness and connectedness, but it would be great if that oneness and connectedness was built around values that we could all share in. Fairness, equality, goodwill, service, love, togetherness. I talk about new ways to organize communities, new ways to organize power, new ways to collaborate and communicate together. And perhaps it's because you have been invited to participate in a spectacle that might be good for you, and it's certainly distracting you from a couple of years that have been really, really weird. What I'm interested in is truth and openness and the deep and difficult reality that truth is in some ways different for all of us, that you might have requirements in life that are different from my requirements in life. So the maximum amount of individual and collective and local freedom, again, transparency instead of opacity, openness instead of closedness, equal relationships and democratic relationships rather than paternal, matriarchal or patriarchal relationships where you are essentially a child. Although you might find that rather charming, and I don't blame you if you do, because it's very sweet and very well made and some brilliant people have worked on it. But the reality is that it's better. The more any centralized, coalescent, coagulate power is ultimately going to be bad for people, where we aren't treated like children. If you're an English person or a British person, or you live in this country, and like me, you felt there's stuff in our system that we don't know how it works, how it controls us. We respond to symbols of power. We respond to snakes and fire and heights. A lot of unusual military action. A lot of weird biopolitical, medical stuff that's been odd. And I don't care what you believe in loads of ways, but I do care that you inquire about what you're being fed by the machine that seeks to keep you wedded and welded to systems of dominance and ignorance. You should be perhaps questioning power now more than you ever have, questioning where power comes from, questioning how power is rendered, not just blindly thinking, oh, it's the Queen, it's Paddington Bear, it's people with flags. We're not children. We're still monkeys in some ways. We just want you to know what's real. I want you to know what's real, the same way as I'd invite you to appreciate that I'm weird and flawed and selfish and have all sorts of problems. Reality, don't be afraid of it. You're a child of the state. You don't know. We better censor your free speech. We better not show you that information. You won't understand it. I believe that the way these symbols functions, whether it's patriotism of this country or any country, is by finding your inner resources, your spirit, your love, your sense of connection and tribalism, your willingness to sacrifice and serve in a community, and sort of oddly welding it to a symbol that is sometimes inappropriate. And I would say it is inappropriate if it encourages inequality and it encourages a kind of blankness of mind and a lack of willingness to inquire about the nature of your reality. This is a time where I believe we should be awakening, where we should be living in true, real democracies. Of course, to have a nation needs its symbols. Over in America or wherever you are, you have a flag, you have traditions, possibly you have a constitution, you have a set of assumed beliefs. But to have a nation, you have to have ideas of who's excluded from it, who are the enemies and opponents of that nation. And believe me, man needs his or her symbols. And I feel that the people that suffer most from entrenched power and the symbols of power are the people that sort of, oddly enough, flock together around those symbols. In a sense, while the Jubilee was seen by many as an opportunity for celebration, for me, it's been an opportunity for scrutiny, to examine for a moment, why do we have a monarchy? Because they want us to see them as sort of gentle, cuddly, familial symbols that we've known about all our life. Oh, they visited bomb sites during the East End. They're friendly. And again, I'm not saying that these are fundamentally bad people. I'm talking about systemic problems. I don't believe there should be ongoing wars. I don't believe there should be foreign campaigns that are veiled attempts to continue imperial and colonial power. I believe we should have relationships with people in positions of leadership that are clear and open. Some people already have an instinctive cynicism towards the institution of monarchy. The challenge that I have is that if you have a monarchy that has considerable wealth and some influence, it's very difficult for us to discuss alternative ways of organising our social systems. Okay. Because some people from working class communities in the north of England, specifically in this case Merseyside, the city of Liverpool, are beginning to question, well, what is our connection to the nation? What has the nation done for us? Are we better embedding ourselves into these systems of power, or would it be better in an independent principality where we had our own budgets, our own control, our own crafts, where we separate away from globalism and the agents of globalism and start to create our own communities? But I would argue that people of ordinary working backgrounds have a lot more to gain from significant changes in our power structures than they have to lose, no matter where they live. So again, this is not why don't we all get shot of the monarchy, or let's get shot of the president, or any of that kind of stuff. That's reductive, simplistic, binary thinking. What I'm interested in is truth and openness, and the deep and difficult reality that truth is in some ways different for all of us. The mess that is American politics and British politics, you might say, well, I'd rather have the Queen involved than some of these dopes that we keep electing to positions of prominence and power. And possibly you're right, I'm not even arguing with that. But let's show you just exactly what you've missed out on. Old, very rich lady telling an empty space that I keep a sandwich in my bag for later. And these condoms, who are they for? Oh, one of my children. So what is the Jubilee really? A delicate balance, a tightrope walk between, oh, we're just like you, we're normal, we're the nation's grandma, we're the nation's family, and also, but we're not like you because we want you to continue to pay for us out of your tax. We want you to not question how much wealth there is. We want you not to question the social systems that we're part of. And I say all of this not necessarily from an anti-monarchistic perspective, just an invitation to inquire. How is your country shaped? How does power treat you? What is your relationship to the symbols around you? Are we better embedding ourselves into these systems of power, or would it be better if where we had our own budgets, our own control, our own crafts, where we separate away from globalism and the agents of globalism and start to create our own communities? Oh, there'd be such costs, there'd be such prices. Yeah, change means change. Things would change if there was change. And not all of that change would be immediately better. There would be challenges. But I find it fascinating that already people are starting to question the paraphernalia of power. Its anthems, its songs, its hymns and its symbols, because you have to question it. Changing the world will mean things will be different. I'm not anti-hierarchy. I recognise people are different and good at things and bad at things, and that's going to have outcomes and results. But what I don't think we should blindly do is just obey a centralised myth that ultimately contributes to a lack of freedom. What you're always offered is just tweaks on the dial. If instead of this leader, we gave you this leader, would that make you happy? Okay, that's a change. Instead of this old guy, how about this old guy? Or this will blow your mind, how about a woman one? Will she basically work for the same systems? Will everything behind her be the same? Will the funding be the same? Will the congressional funding and the stock market stuff all be the same? Yes. But longer hair, though. It's a question that I'm bringing to you. That's just what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below what the royal family means to you, how it compares to the power structures in your country. Do you think power should be decentralized in every way? What do you think the role of the media is in this? How do you feel about the media giving them such a soft ride, never asking any real questions? What does that make you feel? Does it make you think that they operate collaboratively with one another? How do you feel this stuff shakes down? Give this video a like if you liked it. Subscribe to this channel. I want every single one of you to subscribe if that is indeed possible. More important than any of that stuff is that you, if you can, please stay free.